And then we can go, I got the agenda.
Okay.
No, I don't have, trying to pull up the agenda here. I go back through the emails.
Okay, the agenda roll call. We have, looks like all members, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, when Bob comes back.
Right.
So that would take care of that. You're next to citizens petitions.
Yeah, I don't notice any citizens on.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. I don't know why it doesn't come up. So then we can go on to, everybody had a chance to look at the minutes?
I'll move the minutes December 3rd, 2020.
Want to get a second?
Oh, Bob's back.
This is crazy.
Yeah. Well,
I will second.
Dashboards have all been updated for 2021.
Mike seconded.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Okay, so you're back. That's good. Okay.
I think I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thought maybe you got lost in the snow or something out there. You know, it's good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything showing up in email for, I got the email for the minutes, but the minutes aren't attached.
Oh,
Yeah, they are. They're part of the,
part of the agenda package.
keep going through the agenda. They're there.
Yeah, I got the budget. I don't have an agenda. I got Brandon's email.
Well, then you've got the agenda.
It's not showing up.
Huh.
It says, please see the attached PSBC agenda package regards Brandon, and there's nothing to click.
So
Gives
what's
me
the,
his phone numbers and his faxes.
so what's the date of that email?
This was on Tuesday, the 15th.
Yeah, you should, because I just opened that and I had everything.
Everything's there.
He sends it two ways. Sometimes one mail doesn't open for some people compared to the other one, because I can't use the WinMail.
Okay, well, let's all talk. If everybody's having a problem, we can talk about that offline.
Yeah,
and
we're
figure
all
out what we
good.
gotta do to
I mean,
fix it.
just, you know,
Yeah.
if
No,
Bob's here and available, he's got the agenda, he can move forward with the agenda.
Okay,
Yeah, good.
good.
Okay, so we got through the minutes, right?
Yeah. There's Bob.
All right, moving on to communications and reports. PSBC members, anybody have anything?
No.
I know I got an email from Mike Doyle saying that he wanted to be able to take a run through the middle school prior to any decisions being made on handing over.
Okay, that's on our agenda for new
Yep, that's what I was
business,
just going to say.
right?
But let's see, how about Christy, anything?
Nope.
Doug?
No.
Okay. Moving right along, we have consultants.
Which we brought none with us,
We
just
brought none.
our team here.
And we can move to staff and program.
Okay. I'll let, well, why don't we get started? Why don't we do the elementary schools first? Because then the middle school will be carrying over talking about project closeout and stuff like that. So Kelly, if you want to tell us what's going on over there with your two locations.
All right, we'll start with Thames River. Nothing happened today besides snow removal. So they did a lot of that. So tomorrow they'll get back there and they'll begin work as normal. So the roof started yesterday. They got probably a third of it done. So they're moving along. They would have probably had the entire area C dried in today if we didn't have the snowstorm. So I want to say tomorrow, but it probably won't be till Saturday or Sunday. We just got approval to work Saturday and Sunday this weekend. So we'll definitely be dried in area C if the weather is good to us for the next 3 days. So that's a great milestone. We can start doing a lot of stuff in area C. We're continuing MEP rough-ins in area C. We are framing first floor is about 99% complete. Second floor is about 80% complete, and third floor, they have begun the corridor framing and they're beginning the classroom wall framing. So they're really moving along. Exterior framing and sheathing is done in area C, and they are working on area B framing, and then they'll move into area A after they're done with area B. Masonry is ongoing. The gym is almost complete with the ground face CMU. They're working on that corridor wall right now. And they're doing some masonry in area C, but they'll probably be finished up probably next week. So they're moving along. Site work, we got binder down. A lot of sidewalks in, but they're pretty much done for the year. They're gonna finish it up in the spring. And that's pretty much it, besides retaining walls and some miscellaneous site work going on.
How's the building coming along, getting closed in?
So area C will be dried in by the weekend.
Okay,
Yep, they started the roof yesterday. And then once we're dried in, they'll start cruising through in-wall rough-ins. They'll start getting
Right.
all the finishes in and all the fun
Okay.
stuff. Yep. So for area A and B, we have a little more look ahead for drying in there. We kind of focused on area C since that's where the bulk of our work is. But we're looking at within the next month will be dried in those two spots.
Okay.
Month and a half. Any questions for Thames River? All right.
Dave, have you driven by it all?
No, I haven't.
No, you should.
Yep.
It's
We have all our
gangbusters.
temp enclosures in, so there's like the plastics in the windows, so in area C.
Yeah, there's all sorts of drapes hanging.
Yeah. We just finished our slab on decks on the roof, so that was to heat from below, to heat the metal deck. That was our winter plan,
Right.
cold weather concrete plan. So if there's no questions, we'll go to Mystic River. They're moving along there as well. They are pretty much 80% dried in area C. So they finished up their temp windows yesterday, last minute before the storm came. They got really lucky. They finished buttoning it up so no snow got into the building. So as soon as they get some temp partitions on the ends of area C where those big stairwells are, they'll pretty much be 100% dried in there. But they're moving along with masonry walls in area A and B. They're done in area C, and they have begun the masonry veneer on the outside of the building. So they have that brick. I think it's the same brick color on both schools, actually. It's just the regular standard brick color. So that has begun on the east side of area A and B. And obviously before that, the air vapor barrier has gone up. So it's just that gray spray that gets covered over the sheathing on the buildings. So they're pretty much, I'd say area C is 100% sheathed. Area A is probably 98% sheathed, and area B is probably about 50% sheathed. So they're AVBing after the sheathing is going up, and then they're putting the veneer on all over.
Good.
Moving from area A, they're moving to area C, and they're putting the air vapor barrier on the stair towers, and then they're going to start installing our veneer on the stair towers.
Now we're using propane heaters again?
Yes, correct. Yep.
Okay.
And we are hoping, Rick and I, mostly Rick's been pushing the gas company to get the gas line installed. They are there on site right now, actually. Well, not right the second, but they started yesterday, or the day before, sorry, putting the gas line in. So we're hoping for mid-January for that gas to get turned on so we can actually use natural gas and save some money.
Right, good.
Besides that, interior framing is pretty much almost complete. All of our main walls are up in area C, pretty much all roughed in. MEP rough-ins are going on all the way up to the third floor in area C, in-wall rough-ins as well. I saw a shipment of actual drywall in the building, covered in plastic, of course, so they're protecting it and we're watching it. So they're going to start finishes really soon in area C. And besides that, sidewalks are done for the year. They didn't get binder down at Cutler or at Mystic River, but it's okay. They'll finish. They'll do it in the spring.
Right. So the building, as far as Mystic River, the building's a little bit further along than Thames River.
Yeah, it's a little further along. It has been since the beginning, but we're pushing Thames River to catch up.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, you had a little bit more of a head start because you didn't have the issues with the building.
Yeah.
Right away.
Right.
Right.
And they do, I don't know if anybody drives by and looks at the playscapes, they're pretty
Oh, yeah.
interesting to see there too on the Thames Road, I mean, on the Mystic River School there. Pretty colorful.
Yes.
With the Darling snowfall that came down, was a good amount of snow going throughout the town, or did the Noank area have heavier snow?
What was the question?
Was there equal amount of snow falling on both sites, or was Noank a heavier snow?
Oh, I don't know. I was not there. I'm sorry. I was a slacker and stayed and worked from home.
So, Kelly, the road work that's taking place, that's the gas line installation?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh,
So
and
that's performed by the gas company. Yep.
Okay, so, and you said mid-January when that road is gonna be restored? Is that,
Yes, that's what our well, the road will be restored right after, so it'll get temp patched, and then the gas company is going to, Rick, you can interrupt me if you want.
Yeah, right.
They're going to pave from the center line over to the sidewalk.
okay, I mean, I drive by the site 10 times a day, and, you know, I was just curious, because I've had some people around here ask me how, you know, because of there's
Right.
control that's going on, so.
Yeah, they're required to put a patch in by the town's regulations. They had we had a excavation permit that comes out of Public Works. And it gives them some specific things for patching roads like that when they put in utilities. And then, as Kelly said, they'll do the milling and paving in the spring. And we're fortunate enough to get Eversource to do the paving. So they'll actually be paving over the patch we put in.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I've never seen this many plow trucks on Fishtown Road in my life. Does that have to do with the construction? Because last night there was one, went by every 5 minutes, so.
Well, they should have been on 215. That road was miserable this morning. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they have a stop-off place there or something. Who knows?
So if you
Doug,
see one-
ours too. We're not far away. I think we have a new plow guy.
Oh, okay.
If you see one, send it my way.
Yeah.
You're in the city.
I know. I've also got half the golf course in my front yard.
So,
Yeah,
so
so-
yeah, go ahead, Kelly.
So the patch will happen immediately once they're done, and then they won't do the final paving until the spring, to answer your question.
And actually, we'll probably end up with a better product because it'll be able to settle over the winter. You know, it usually works out better if you have a longer settlement period with when you're putting in pipe and stuff in the ground like that. So if Kelly's all done, you know, we're working paperwork wise, and that's moving along, and change orders are coming and going, and we're looking at the work that's being done. And we had a couple issues that we're able to resolve, which are fine, but they're typical coordination stuff. So they're really nothing out of the ordinary that we see. And I think we're doing pretty well. I mean, we owe you a change order log at the first of the year, so we'll get that to you as soon as we can. It'll probably be, you know, like Monday, Tuesday before the next meeting, because the next meeting's on Thursday and after New Year's Day. So we'll set that as a goal to get those change order logs to you a few days before the meeting anyway, so you can take a look at them. And you know, all the required paperwork or approvals have been received for both schools, so we're good there. I might mention that Joe Summers, and you probably remember him, Bob, he inspected the other schools for us. He's been hired on at Groton as the building official. So I need to set up a meeting with him, talk to him, and see how we're going, and make sure we're all on the same page based on what was set up previously with Kevin Quinn
Carlton.
and Carlton. So we'll we'll go that. I don't think we'll have any problems. He was on site and he did tour with Zach, the assistant PM over there at Thames River.
And
So
Joe's a very reasonable individual to work
yeah,
with.
yeah, Joe's good. I mean, he knows the code, he knows what's going on, and he is reasonable and very approachable, and will take the time he needs to give you the answer.
Good to know.
Of course, he hasn't been in the job very long, so we'll see how long that lasts. But he is good and easy to work with. So I think it's a
I'm
great.
pretty sure he
fit.
knew what he was walking into.
Yeah, no, yeah, he does. He's a good fit, I think, for the community. So elementary schools, that's all we have, unless there's any other questions.
So as far as the elementary schools go, we don't really foresee, or we don't have any major obstacles that we're looking at.
No, not at this point. I mean, we're, like Kelly said, sucking up the schedule at the Thames River to catch up with the other school. But
Right.
other than that, we don't see, we're tracking COVID related things. Kelly asked that at each of the owners architect meeting on what materials could be delayed due to some COVID issue or what have you. So we're trying to keep track of that. The COVID stuff is going fairly well. We did have an incident over at Cutler. Those people, that one person and his assistant were removed from the site, and they were working remotely in a stairwell. So it wasn't like they were in contact with everybody else. So we've done pretty well with that, and we've done pretty well with the materials. We had a meeting today. Brian, I, and Mark Jeffco from O&G, and they're going to put together a sheet or a spreadsheet like we used at the middle school for delays caused by COVID things, or tracking materials that may be affected by COVID. So we can have some idea if there are any issues popping up, or we may find out something about a delay, but it may not affect the schedule, but we need to track those kind of things.
Right.
So it's moving along, and we are applying some of the lessons learned at the other site to the elementaries, which is good.
Good.
Unfortunately,
All right.
Tammy had to go through it all by herself the first time around. So,
I'm very lucky.
yeah. So,
I just got one more for Kelly.
okay.
I know last meeting I brought up on the numbers on reimbursement at 57 compared to the 47. Have we figured out what the state is reimbursing us on this one? Because right now we're still showing a 27 million coming back from the state compared to the 20 million we're paying.
Well, we'll have to resolve that, Kevin. We'll on the phone tomorrow with Emily and see what she has to say. She's our financial person at Arcadis. So we're gonna find out exactly. I think that's a mistake, but we'll see.
Yeah, you look at the budget sheet from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, we'll look at it and we'll let you know.
yeah, because it's going to end up being a lot different in the sense of monies, what the town is paying compared to what the state reimbursement is then.
Yep.
Yep.
That's all I had.
Okay, Tammy,
So if we
middle
had,
school.
hold it.
Oh, sorry.
As far as with the snow and whatnot now, there have been no injuries, right? No further COVID stuff.
Well, there was one
We
injury.
did have, yeah, we had a broken ankle this time.
Broken ankle.
Yeah, so we're trying to really reinforce site cleanliness. A gentleman at Thames River got out of a lull and stepped on a concrete cylinder from our testing agent, and he actually broke his ankle. So we have been enforcing cleanliness. It's been an issue that we've been struggling with ONG on at Thames River, not Mystic River. They can't say anything wrong about Mystic River's cleanliness. They're really good. So it's just something we work on every single day with them, and it's getting slowly better, but it's unfortunate that had to happen for them to realize.
Well, and the fellow didn't look at before he left. He just kind of, so there's no kind of legislating that. All we can do is, like Kelly says, keep the place clean. And if they do something like that, there's not a whole lot we can do to prevent that, except making sure things are where they're supposed to be.
Document, we have all the incident reports to date, so.
Yep.
Good.
And that's the only new thing besides the Cutler case of COVID.
Good, okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay,
All right, any further questions on the elementaries?
No, I'm good.
Everybody
Guys.
good? It's time to move to the middle school.
Okay.
Hit it, Pam.
All right, sounds good. So on the middle school, we are 80% complete with the punch list items. We just did another walkthrough with the architect yesterday, and we knocked off some more punch list items off the list. We'll continue to work on those and hope to have those completed by the beginning of January. We're down to 295 items that are left on the punch list. So a lot of them are just pretty simple things that have been completed. So it's just a matter of going through the building with the architect and signing off on them. The other thing, we're still continuing to work on the FF&E punch list. We just have probably, I would say, a total of 8 items on the FF&E punch list, which is very good for a project this size. So I met with the vendors last week. They took some photos for replacements of some tops that were damaged. And so we got those in the works to be replaced. In addition to the FF&E, we received the new furniture for the Academy classroom. Unfortunately, the tops that came in, they were the wrong color. So I met with a vendor last week, and she has she's going to be putting in an order for the correct color. Unfortunately, the factory is shut down for the holidays, so we're hoping to get it by the end of January to get those new tops for the student desks. The other item, to give everyone an update, the HDMI new cabling will start installing tomorrow on second shift. It will continue into next week, and they should be completed by the end of the day on Wednesday, which is the 22nd. So, so that'll be all completed by the middle of next week. The other thing to add, we did try the thumb latch for the classroom locks. The thumb latch, with the way that it is made, if you don't keep it in the 12 o'clock position, it does not allow you to get in or out of the classroom door. So I met with Sam. He is currently working with the superintendent again and the school to see how to move forward at this point. So we're still working on the classroom locks at this point, and we're just waiting for information from Sam. The other items, we're working on closeout. A good portion of the O&Ms have been received electronically. I'd say we're about 90% of the O&Ms that have been received. O&G is currently working on printing them out for the 2 hard copies. So we're looking to turn that over by the end of January. And also Rick and I will start to continue to work on the closeout documents for the building committee. And whatever.
Interrupt, but does everybody know what O&Ms are?
Oh, I'm sorry. They're operational manuals for the actual systems in the building, also maintenance of like your flooring, how to clean the floors. So they're operation and maintenance manuals for the items in the building. And then also we're receiving attic stock as we speak. So we're about, I would say, 40% complete with receiving the attic stock. So we still have quite a bit that we're still working on getting with O&G from the subcontractors. Let's see, and the with the handicap bus loop. So we just had a meeting this afternoon. We're working on getting the bollards installed, so we can open up the driveway for when the kids come back from Christmas break. Right now, the contractor is looking in for a temporary bollard to put on the sidewalk side by the driveway, and so we can open it up because we were told that the one that was part of the PR is on back order. So we're just looking to put a temporary one in there so we can open up that driveway so they can start using it. We're going to get some feedback from the subcontractor and where we stand with that. So that should hopefully, get that going. And then the final bollards and striping should be completed by the end of January. Let's see. And I believe that's it. And Rick, I don't know if you want to talk about your
Well, you got
portion.
the mold issue and the sheetrock, that was all completed last week. I
Yes,
don't know if it's been painted yet or not. We
they
had
were.
that- Yeah, good.
Yep. So they were scheduled to paint it yesterday, but I did not see the gentleman on site yesterday. So he's probably going to be coming back tomorrow to paint that room. But everything is all installed. It's been sanded and we're just waiting for final paint.
And I noticed you have a quizzical look. I thought I'd talk to you about that, Bob, but what happened is there was a leak in that area in one of the art rooms.
Mhm.
And when they started to install the box, if you will, that controls the EVS charging stations, they noticed some dampness in there. So they had to strip out some sheetrock along the bottom of the wall and then into the stairwell. They cut that sheetrock out. Did testing. We had the LEP on site to do some additional testing to make sure that all the places that were damp and moist were fixed, and then they fixed that. I mean, they did a really good job in a timely fashion. It took them probably a week and a half, maybe at the very most, from the time they started till the time they finished the whole thing. So
Do we know where the leak originated from?
yeah, and that was on the roof, and it's been fixed because there was one section of the roof or one expansion joint that wasn't completed, and that's where it came from. So that's been repaired, and there's no leaks there. I mean, it's been finished, that piece of work, and there are no further leaks there. So, so we're pretty sure that's not an ongoing issue at this point. Also, you might want to tell them about the floor tile, where they stand with that, Amy.
Sure. So the floor tile, the LVT floor tile that we mentioned a couple weeks ago that started to buckle, we are completed with the cafeteria. So they completed the repairs. They installed that new material that goes over top of the control joints and also infilled the cracks and the joints. So it's more flexible with the Artifix material that goes on top. So the band room, we are looking to complete that the week of the 28th because they had to order some more material for the band room. And that should arrive towards the end of Christmas week. So they plan on coming back like either the 28th or 29th. And they said it'll take about 2 days for them to finish that work. So they've done all the prep work. Everything's done. It's just a matter of just installing the tile itself, which would take about 2 days.
Very good. Anybody have any more questions on the middle school?
Yeah, yes, I have a couple questions. The HDMI cabling, what was that for? I can't remember. And in the PCO log for the gym floor, I never heard about why the gym floor buckled, and it said there was the project lost humidity control. Just curious, is there any other ramifications of that, or is that's?
Well, that was early on, Mike. When they came in and they started to lay down the material, laid it out. There was some material that didn't look like it was satisfactory. The contractor claimed it was. So they installed the floor, and what they said was going to happen didn't happen. It didn't buckle per se. It was not straight linearly through the floor. Wasn't up and down. It was side to side kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
So that was removed and replaced with the correct material. There was an issue early on where there was a moisture content because the building HVAC wasn't completely operating at that point. So additional dehumidifiers were brought in to make sure the new material was at the correct moisture content, and it was reinstalled and fixed, and the floor is good right now. So I don't know that there's any any issues. There is a very small issue at the very north end where there was a potential rise in the floors. It was like a couple boards. It was like a 1/16 of an inch almost at the wall. That's we're looking at that and drying that out to make sure that's dry, test the moisture, make sure it's there, and then look at it to see if there's any work that needs to be done, which I don't suspect at this point. And then we think that it'll be fine from then on out. Once the moisture, and since the systems are now operating properly in the building. That's good. And you know, since I mentioned the systems operating the building, they're doing the commissioning. The commissioning is nearly completed on all the systems. They had a punch list or that they were working through. They also had, they've been working hard trying to find out a time when nobody's in the building so they can do their intruder kind of testing. I think that's still to be done.
Yes.
So that stuff is working along. There was a couple other things that planning required. One was a little grading along Route 1. That hasn't quite been scheduled yet, but we're looking at getting that done as soon as we can. We're also part of the sidewalk at Fitch doesn't meet ADA requirements, and there's no way to make it do so. So we need to remove a small section of sidewalk and just fill that with topsoil and plant grass. So that's on the docket to be done too, which hopefully will be done in the next couple of weeks. The sign, we did have discussions on the sign. We were able to work with the building official and zoning officer to move the Sutton Park sign back. If you know where the sidewalk is that goes into Sutton Park, there's like 3 bush kind of trees there. The sign will be placed next to that. The other one removed, so we'll only have 2 signs then on the property frontage. So I'm in the process of submitting a ASP for that, administrative site plan, to get that sign, excuse me, moved, that part of it. And then we're getting the site plan completed to submit for the other sign. So we'll see how all that works out and what the timing is on that. We'll have to let you know. So that may be the one thing that's hanging out at the end of the project as we go through closeout. And we'll have some discussion on that and certainly let you know where we go with it. That'll be controlled, you know, over the web by the folks at the school. So it'll be similar to the Grasso Tech sign, which they have an antenna on the side of it, and it'll be controlled from the building. And powered by Groton Utilities in this particular case, as opposed to Eversource, because it's in their area. So, and that's, I think those are the main items of work that are going on at the school. And if we want to go into closeout, we can do that too, if I can get my voice back here. Okay, got any additional questions on the work at the schools or?
Yep, just to answer Mike's question about the HDMI cabling, just to refresh your memory. So when the design cabling was installed, the particular cabling that was specified as part of the design was not compatible with the school's computers. Unfortunately, we have to tear out the cable, well, not tear out, but pull out the cabling that was installed and install the brand new HDMI cabling. So this information has been given to Kelly for the elementary schools because they will be using those same type of laptops at those schools as well for the teachers. So they don't have to run into installing new cabling on the elementary projects.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other middle school stuff? We have something else on the agenda farther down. So.
Anybody have any questions?
Nope.
All right. Moving along then. Rick, do you want to go into the next
Yeah, we'll go,
middle school?
since there's no unfinished business, we can,
Exactly.
if we don't mind, we'll jump down to the middle school closeout things. Peter did stop by on his way home this evening, says, oh, he signed our CO, so I should have that in my hot little hands tomorrow. So we'll have that. So that's one document we need. The other document we need is a site plan compliance certification that I'm gonna have to work with the planning folks on that. And typically there's things that can't be done right now, like replanting dead trees and making sure the grass is growing and those kind of things. So there's typically a punch list, if you will, attached to something like that. The goal right now, and Brian and I have met on that. We've mentioned it to our friend Mark Jeffco at O&G. What we'd like to do is come back to you folks on the 7th of January, give you some more information on where we actually stand. We're trying to work on the financial stuff so we can have the exact financial numbers, where we stand work-wise, and then potentially on the 17th, or I mean, it'd be the 24th, like 21st, I guess, to ask you to approve the transfer of the school to the Board of Ed. Now, I dug up some of the old correspondence we had, and there was a letter that Public Works sent to you folks, the Permanent School Building Committee. And I believe there's a letter that was sent from you folks to the council, and then there was a resolution that was, and I got to find the letter from you folks to the council, and then there was a resolution. So if we do get to the point to meet our goal on the 21st with you, and then the council meets, the first week in February, maybe at that point we can have the building turned over to the Board of Education. We'll still be working on some of the financial closeout stuff. I just signed like a whole bunch of change stuff today. We're working through all of those items. We're looking at the final dollar amounts, which we don't quite have yet, but we expect to have at some point. So we'll be able to hopefully provide that information. And if not the first meeting, in between the two meetings, so you can have a look at it. So we know where we are financially. We're still in very good shape. Some of the change orders I had today were actually money coming back from contractors' allowances. We'll get some money back from the CM allowance. So there's little pieces and parts of dollars out there, which we got to collect up and find out exactly where we stand. So I'll be working with Arcadis, and I assume Emily will be probably heavily involved because she's the number person for them to go through that and get the other documents in place that we need, and then be able to turn it over. I did, as part of the turnover, we always talked about doing other things with leftover dollars. I did send that list of things we had prepared previously to the bonding attorney again. And I'll read you the email she sent. She said, set out below is the language describing the project, which is section 1 of the referendum, which the last sentence says the council may reduce or modify the project and may delete portions of the project funds if insufficient to complete the entire project. So she takes that to mean that the council can do certain things, okay? She said the project description is quite broad and the requested items could be considered to be included in the description. The town council has been delegated authority to approve the final concept of the school and modify the scope of the project, so council approval would be required for those items. And you can have certainly further discussion on that. Also, all the local approvals, of course, would have to be met, the planning, zoning, all those sorts of things. And she said she has observed that the lighting of athletic fields is highly controversial in Groton here, as we had with the baseball field. And whatever land use approvals are required must be obtained. Finally, we will be asking whether these facilities are expected to be used for non-school activities. And that may play into it some, because the referendum was for school use. And if they are, that may impact the ability to finance this portion of the project on a tax exempt basis. Please reach out if additional information is needed. So as we go forward at some point, we can do that, but I'm certainly not going to recommend that we take anything forward until we get our final numbers on the middle school. So, maybe February timeframe, it might be a time to consider some of those things, but certainly probably wouldn't be before that. So other closeout stuff, you have anything, Brian? I know, I'm sure I went over it pretty quickly. It's
No, Rick, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. And if there's more definition or people want, the fine details of how we collect the money from the CM and the like, and make sure that all those things balance, we're happy to provide it. But for the sake of intent of what we're doing, I think what you said is perfect.
Yeah, so at some point we'll have a final change order log, right? We'll have a final change order to the guaranteed maximum price contract with the CM. We'll know what money we spent with Arcadis and other consultants at the end of the project. So by the time all's said and done, and some of this, like I said, may occur after the building's turned over, and probably will, so we can get ready for audit. But there's quite a list of things that have to be done to close these projects out, and we'll be working on that and keep you cut in.
One question on the budget, Rick. All the work that has been completed so far, is everything in order for full reimbursement, or have we done work that doesn't?
There's some work that's not eligible for reimbursement. It's like the sewer in the road that we've done is not eligible for reimbursement. The sign that we put down at the bottom of the hill is not going to be. The work at the high school is not eligible for reimbursement. There's some of those things that are not. And then if the CM had to do rework and couldn't identify who was really responsible, that rework type of stuff is not eligible for reimbursement. So at some point, we'll have to put together a list of that and look and see where we are, but it's not a great deal of money compared to the rest of the project. So I expect all those that are ineligible is probably small, but then again, we're kind of have to rely on the state or dodge the state, because sometimes they may claim something's not reimbursable. And if you recall the last project, our last set of projects, we had some battles with the state to get things that they said were not reimbursable reimbursed. So that all remains to be seen at the audit, which may occur somewhere down the road, probably could be a couple of years from now. But Emily at Arcadis has been working to get us in the queue, if you will. So hopefully it'll be sooner than that, not later. So to answer your question, yeah, Kevin, some of the stuff is not reimbursable.
Okay, I'll wait for the budget to come out. I just figured, I just wanted to get an idea. I'll wait till you get the numbers complete.
Yeah, I mean, anything outside the contract limit lines defined on the original, basically site plan.
So we know it was like roughly $400,000 to do all the fixture work. We know it was a couple $100,000 to do the sewer work. We know, the sign is going to be $20,000, $30,000. So there's probably $700,000 as a rough number that may not be reimbursed.
Okay.
We knew about all of these going forward.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
This is not a surprise to anybody.
No, it's not a surprise, and we'll have to provide you some information on how the chicken's cut up here, so you know what goes where, kind of thing. Anything else I can answer for you folks?
Only a follow-up to what Mike emailed out. Is it possible to get the committee a tour through the building sometime between the 7th and the 21st?
Yeah, I think we can arrange that.
I mean, I'd like to see if we could do it, as a group instead of,
right. It would probably, I mean, if we could potentially do it the Wednesday before the 7th, or the following Wednesday after that, which would be the 13th, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Let the school get in, get settled, find out what they're doing, if they're still in session or not in session or session. But to date, Wednesdays have been the day that the school's been vacant.
Yeah.
So I took
Wednesdays would be good, because that's their flex day,
that's their
or whatever you
cleaning
want
day.
to call it.
Yep. And I took a walk through when the school was vacant, and I think they'll be very happy. It was tremendous. And it's a really nice building inside.
Yeah.
Even though we've got our little things to fix here and there.
Yeah, that's immaterial. I mean, but
yep.
before we decide that we want to turn it over, be nice to just take a look through.
Yep, understand. And we can set that up for January.
Yeah, I think I'd appreciate it if we could get all of
Oh,
us
yeah.
to take a look and talk and
Yeah, right now we've kind of kept
bring a
everybody
bottle
off
of
all the
champagne
sites.
on a rail, you know.
Yeah,
launch the thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine for me, you know, keep everybody off site as much as you can. You know, and then if, you know, if we can get that final walkthrough before we turn it over, that'd
Right,
be nice.
right. And that'll be fine. The teachers have been very nervous. They're also nervous when Tammy has people come in to do work. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so if we'll do it on a day when they're not there or a minimal amount are there, and because it's a cleaning day, and we can go from there, or even after hours. So we can set that up.
Good. That'll be great. Anybody have any final questions?
May I say something, Bob?
Let Mike, I think I've got Mike going.
Right.
Yeah, just one question. So the using the money and the bonding attorney, if we turn the school over, we can still, we can, if possible, that money can be spent afterwards. That wouldn't be affecting.
That's a good question, and I'll confirm that.
Okay. Thanks.
Brian, you had something?
I have a question. It's kind of a request, and so I'm going to throw it out there and see what everybody thinks. So I love the idea of the committee walking through on the 6th. Obviously, there's a lot of value in that for all of you, and sort of a celebration of all of that work. I would, and I don't need an answer now. I would ask if people would consider maybe taking some sort of photo. I think it would be nice to post it on the Facebook. Say it says, committee does final tour of building, kind of give you guys some credit for all the work you've done and recognize the project and push that out on that Facebook communication page to, sort of bolster it out. I mean, whether we all have masks on or not when we do that tour, I think it's a nice piece and, kind of celebrates everybody's hard work. And then we post it on the Facebook page. You guys can think about it, let me know, but it's just a thought that I thought would be kind of nice for everybody if we like that.
That's pretty cool. And the school does have a name on it now, so you can stand under the name or whatever too.
That's what I was thinking. Right? It would be neat, even if it was outside.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It would be neat. It would capture the front of the school and
it's a milestone.
Push that positive news out to the community that all this hard work and the money and whatnot.
I mean, I could tell you now, I wouldn't be opposed to that at all.
Okay.
These projects.
I'll wear my good one.
It marks a milestone where we've reached the point where we're done, and this now becomes part of the town.
And we haven't been able to celebrate any of those things on these projects because the whole
exactly.
We kind of did a little beam raising. We kind of did a little of this, a little of that. We didn't do any ribbon cuttings or anything yet. Maybe by the time the elementaries get done and open, we can do that. We can certainly do a ceremonial thing at the middle school when things calm down too. We do now have a new superintendent, which if folks don't know, I'm sure everybody probably knows by now. Certainly all the school folks know that by now. But so that will be interesting too. So yeah, no, that's a great idea. Bro.
Okay, well I'll bring my good camera. This way we can everybody.
You're not your Kodak brownie or something like that.
Don't bring my phone, do it with my phone. I promise.
Okay.
Thank you for giving that option. I appreciate it.
No, thank you for thinking of it. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think it is a milestone. It marks the end of something and the beginning of something even better.
Yep.
Exactly.
We did, well, one thing I might mention is planning did come to me and ask for some details on the school, the costs, the number of students, the fields, some of the basic stuff. So I did answer those questions for them. And it's all data that we all know. So there's nothing new, and there wasn't any unusual questions, if you will, there. So it's, they're obviously trying to bolster the community and make it viable economically for folks. So it's all part of their push with the new schools to get people or businesses to the town kind of thing. So just to let you know in case you see something out there, but it's all factual data that came from all our records and stuff. So, okay.
All right then. Sam, I see you over there in the corner. How are you guys coming on any possibilities with these locks? What are your thoughts?
Well, I got another idea that I talked to the superintendent about the other day, so I'm going to talk to the administration the next time I see them and see whether they will go for it. So it's similar to the thumb latch issue, and that's as far as I'm going to go with it because I'm not
Okay.
going to jinx myself, if that's okay with you.
Perfectly fine
Okay,
with me.
Sam. Nice
Sorry to
hat.
be late. I was
Something
out.
done soon.
Sorry to be late. I was out doing something.
Looks like you're out playing golf or something with that hat.
Yeah, right. With an orange
ball.
orange golf ball.
Yeah, I got some of those if you want one. I can do
Yeah.
a sleeve or something, you know.
Okay. Anybody have anything else they want to put in here?
Oh, I think that's it.
So what I'll do, Bob, is on the next agenda, I'll put the middle school closeout up under unfinished business and we can continue to talk about it. Okay.
Very good.
I have a question, Bob. Is there any visibility with the town council? Are we supposed to be giving them updates, or I have no, I don't think we've given any ever. So I don't know.
Well,
I just don't know what the,
yeah.
is there something we're missing?
They do get the monthly reports. They go to the town manager. He's able to share those with them. The superintendent has been talking to the RTM at the RTM meetings and kind of talking about schools as part of his overall charge, if you will. So the first, next thing, and I'll talk to the town manager as we get into this process to make sure he wants to follow the same process we did last time.
One of the things that we might want to think about is inviting the town council to come and tour with us when we do the pre-closeout tour.
Yeah. Well, we could do that.
So obviously, I guess there's been no feedback from any of the government agencies because at least we haven't heard anything.
No, we get periodic questions about this and that and the other thing, but nothing significant, if you will.
Okay.
I've received nothing, Mike, so
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Other than that, I don't see that we have anything left. So I'm going to wish everybody a happy holiday.
Yes.
Tell everybody
You
to
too,
stay safe.
Right.
And
You
we will
too.
see you on the other side of this.
Watch out for those reindeer.
Caribou.
Yeah.
The caribou in the North America.
Yeah, that's right.
So have a great holiday.
You too.
Don't eat too much and don't get near too many people. Thank you all for your time tonight, and we will see you again next year.
Okay.
Bye. Happy holidays.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Merry
Okay.
Happy holidays, folks.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night,
And
Chad.
to all a good night, right?
Good night, David.